welcome to another guide too with me, MrSealyp. The ITSI project Multiloader. This is a bizarre one, I have to say. It's an interesting little mod, a very peculiar little mod. Yeah, wow, where to begin? This is by ITSI. I don't know where to begin. It's a peculiar looking vehicle, and when you look at the pictures online, you think, oh, okay, fine. It's like a little front loader thing. When you get in it, it's a lot smaller than you think it's going to be. I'm going to start off as I usually do, in store, and then we'll have a look over them. I'm sorry if I seem baffled and confused. I don't know, it's just a very strange little mod. Anyway, let's have a look in store. So, if we go across, you'll actually find them, bizarrely enough, in skid steer loaders. And if I scroll across, you've got the actual vehicle itself for 16,000, and then you've got the high tip shovel for 1,300. Now, the thing about this is there are other attachments that go with it, and I had a bit of a search around. I was trying to work out where to get them. So what I did was the usual. From here, pressed R1, went into the actual manufacturer's screen, went down to here to the ITSI screen, and you've got a lot of other attachments that come with this. So you've got the machine itself, you've got a weight for the back on its own, and it does say a weight helps the tractor's wheels down the ground and improves its balance. Another weight can be added, so you can bulk these up to add more weight to the back if you're going to be adding more weight to the front. There's also a weight with a trailer attachment, and there's a little kind of a bumper attachment with which is kind of weight and a trailer attachment as well. Then if we move across, we've got the high tip shovel, which is on the other screen. The high tip shovel's only got a 530 litre capacity. It's tiny, very, very small. That's what I'm saying. It's an interesting mod. I'm trying to work out what I could use it for. Probably for animals, for cleaning up a feed area, that kind of thing. It would probably work for very, very well, and it's not overly expensive. And then we've got a mower attachment, Mower 1200i for 3,500. That's got a 600 litre capacity. So then I thought, okay, sheep, this might be pretty good for sheep farm, sheep pen. If you've got a field, you can go out, mow what you need, dump it in. You've got a little bucket for cleaning up the feed area. That might work very, very well. So what we're going what we're going to do first of all is have a look at the actual mod itself. So the vehicle comes with a couple of options, a few options. You can have a 10 kilometre per hour version, which is 45 horsepower, or you can have an 18 kilometre an hour version, which is 50 horsepower. That's an extra 4,000 for 5 horsepower, but it gives you an extra 8 kilometres per hour. I'm not sure what that is in miles, but actually that's a good point. Why is that saying kilometres per hour when mine's set on miles per hour? Oh, there you go, 11 miles per hour. 11 miles per hour. Oh, it's not really giving me the option down the bottom left hand corner. Never mind. Main colour. This is kind of over the roll bars and the front loader attachment. You can change the main colour to any of those you want to. Tractor tread. You've got standard tractor tread, and you've got a Greenland tread, which is a bit like the Nokian tyres. Rim colour you can change to any of those. Then the actual design, the main body of the vehicle, you can change. Oh no, sorry, hang on. Yeah, this is weird actually. This says design default or hydraulic back. I haven't found a difference in that, interestingly. And then you've got design colour, which is the main body of the vehicle, which is what I started to say. You can have any of those. So what I might do then is try it with a default. I thought I'd done a default one. Let's go with main colour, I don't know, let's go with something a bit zany. Let's go pink, and then design colour itself, what would go nicely with pink? Oh, I don't know, this is going to look like a candy floss machine. It's going to be very weird. We'll go with the white. And I'll lease that then. That says it's default design, not hydraulic back. I don't know what the difference is, but anyway, let's lease that. So those are the options available. Yeah, it's an interesting vehicle. When you think about it, as far as a wheel loader goes, if I come out of here and go back that way, it's under skid steer loaders. If I go to front loaders, which it kind of technically is, you've got the Kramer, but the Kramer is 60,000. It's a little bit bigger and more attachments go on it, which is the bonus of the Kramer. But let's jump out. Yeah, okay. Not the best choice of colours. But let's have a look at this then, because it says default and then hydraulic back. Now, I can't see the difference, and haven't been able to see the difference between that, which is kind of the default colours, and between that one. I'm struggling to see the difference. Anyway, one of those things. I'm going to jump into that one was just to have a look at. I'm not going to be driving that one around at the moment, I don't think. But anyway, we're going to have a look over it. The mod itself is very neat, very tidy, lots of great detail. That's the Greenland tyres, like the Nokians, and that's the tractor tyres. So you've got a difference in the tyres there and there. This is your front arm, your front boom. And there's quite a few different things here. I'm assuming it's like an electric vehicle. Again, I'm not too sure. I'm assuming it takes fuel. But let's jump in this one. Let's start it up. And see what I mean about me being inside it? It's tiny. Now, when you accelerate, it's either accelerate or stop. There's no kind of slow down with this. It's just accelerate or stop. Turning, that's it's really interesting. The turning circle, as you can imagine, is tiny, which makes it very handy for tight spaces. It's a very, very weird mod. Weirdly enough, it's kind of growing on me. Now, as far as lights go, if I go into reverse, it's all LED lighting on this. So let's go back in reverse. The LEDs come on the back for reverse. If I put the lights on, got your rear lights, front lights again, LEDs. If I go again, you've got these work lights that run all the way around the top and around the side. At night, it's going to look wonderful. And again, you've got a kind of main beam. If I do this from in cab, and that's what's interesting about this as well. If I turn it off, great features. Looking down here at the kind of control screen, that's fantastic. So if I turn the lights on, sorry, that's all the lights off, isn't it? Let me just double check. Right, that's lights off. So if I look at the screen now, the screen's very bright. Ignition off, ignition on. So the screen's quite bright. As soon as I turn the lights on, the screen dims. Another set of lights now actually shows you on the display the lights coming on, which is another great, it's a brilliant feature. And then off, the display goes up in more detail. So, turning, you can almost see you can see the back of it. Look, that's such a bizarre little vehicle. There we go. Now, if we come from outside then, let's have a quick look. We've got our arm, which goes up and down, which is what you kind of expect. We've got forward and backwards. It's really actually quite cool. I quite like it. Now the reach on it is fairly high. It's not bad for such a small vehicle. Bring that back down again, and bring that down again. Yeah, interesting little thing. So like I say, that's the vehicle itself, and it is interesting. Anyway, right, let's move on. I'm just mind boggled by the whole situation. Let's jump out of this one. Let's stop that. Jump into this one. So what we've got attachment wise, we've got the bucket, we've got to the side, that's, let's say, 530 litres. We've got a rear bumper weight, we've got a weight with trailer hitch, and we've got a standard weight on its own. And then there's this little mower thing, which is a fascinating little attachment. Lots of little buttons to press and stuff on that, but it's an interesting one to be fiddling around with. So, first things first, let's jump in here. Turn this one on. And I took this attachment on. So, the bucket's a nifty little thing, but like I say, because it's such a small machine, it's a very, very small bucket. The only thing you really see you're going to be able to use it for is probably with the animals, because it's really not got a very big capacity for doing anything else. If you're going to be putting silage into an anaerobic digester, that's going to take you a month of Sundays, let's be honest. But it does have a very, very cool high tip function. If I push that arm up now, up to the top, and then go, hang on, let's go up so we can see it a bit better. It does have high tip function. So I've pushed forward. I don't have to push forward. I can come all the way back down if I want to, down to here. If I do R1 and then on my right joystick go left or right, it has a high tip function, which is quite cool, I have to say. I quite like that. That's pretty nifty for a small little machine. So when you've got it on its full extent, it does give you quite a bit more height on that, which is a nice little feature for a small bucket. That's not bad at all. Now I'm going to open up the help window actually, I think. So, actually, what I'm going to do then is come back round. Don't know why I went so far out with the turning circle this thing's got. The only thing is it's a little bit like the wheel loaders. You've got to be incredibly gentle on the PlayStation controller. So if I back up now, zoom in a little bit, and attach, that attaches that little rear bumper, which is a weight in its own right, and it's got a trailer hitch, which is a nice little feature. Drop that one off. Let's come back out again so I can line these up properly. God blimey, sorry about the camera flicking around, it's so complicated. I say complicated, it's hard to get a grip on it. Let's do that one first actually. Right, so I hook that one up. That's just a rear weight on its own. It does say you can hook up multiple ones. I'm hoping it will let me hook up this one with it as well. So if I hook that one too, I've got multiple weights, which gives me more weight over the back, and that rear one has got a trailer hitch as well. Very nice, very handy. Now, I did try this trailer hitch on one of the solid axle trailers, the Brentner, and it forced the axle down and made this whole thing leap about. Right, let's put this down. Fiddling around with it. Right, if I back up now to here, with these trailers, it brings the actual arm down. That was a bit weird. Okay, but I mean, look at the size of that. That's a bit odd, isn't it? That's doing a very weird thing. Right, let me just try something here. Let me disconnect that. Oh, that's weird now. I can't disconnect one and the other separately. Oh, maybe I can. There we go. Right, let's drop that off. Drop that off. Let's go for that one only and see if it does the same thing. I hope not. Right, let's try this again. Whoa, okay, that was interesting. Yeah, it doesn't like that very much, does it? Got a bit of spring on that. That's obviously a little glitch with the mod, but let's try with the bumper instead. Right, so let's drop that. Where's the bumper? I'm hoping it works a little bit better with the bumper. Let's see how that goes. Well, at least you're getting to see the mod. I need to be a little bit quicker because I need to make sure I show you the mower as well. So, let's switch around. Because the mower's quite a funky little thing actually. Right, let's hook this up. Right, so let's try forward. That's not so bad. Okay, so I'm actually pulling this rather large trailer, although it is one of the smaller of the trailers, with this tiny little thing, which does mean you can move a bit of fertiliser about, a bit of seed, that kind of thing. That's an interesting hookup. How peculiar. Okay, well there you go. That's the front bucket, the arm, the high tip, the weight bumper, the little weights here, which are a bit peculiar. They're fine on their own, but obviously with the trailer on, gets a little bit springy. So lastly, but by no means least, is the little mower. So let's jump in here, turn this on, drop that down and hook up. Whoa. So I mean, it's a bit jolty. So obviously you can do your usual, lift it up and down and do whatever you want to do with it. Now if I bring that down to its fullest extent, when you buy the mower, let me just double check that. If I go across again, when you buy the mower, it gives you the option of changing the colours so you can match it up with your vehicle, but it gives you an option of float or static. Static, it stays exactly where you put it. Float allows it to be a little bit more flexible. There's a little arm thing here, and it allows that arm to move up and down, so it floats on the ground, so it kind of follows the ground, hugs the terrain as you go. Anyway, so what I can do is, I'll try and get this right. If I press R1 and then my right controller, I can open up the front. That's for unloading it when it's full. If I go L1 and R1 and go left or right, I can raise and lower the wheels. I can take the wheels up and down on that little mower. Again, it's a very unusual one. So I've raised them so I can actually do some mowing now. So what I'm going to do is drive forward. Let's go to a little patch across the road without getting crushed and turn this on. Let's go over here. So L1 says low. Oh, if I don't move the whole, it's hard not to move the arm as well. So L1 lower mower, kind of drops it down a little bit. Turn on mower. And that's now on. Now as I move forward, as I drive, you notice the arm bit that's attached to kind of flexes up and down. It follows the terrain, kind of bounces up and down a little bit wherever it needs to, so it's kind of floating. So as I go and I cut, if I look inside, there's like a little glass or perspex cover. Let's find a bit I haven't cut. Right hand side is filling up, and it's only got a 600 litre capacity, I think it is. So it is cutting the grass and it is gradually filling up, and then we should see in a minute the grass start to fill up. I should have been paying attention where I was going. Around that post. The grass is filling up in the container at the front. I can actually cut some grass, there we go. Get away from these bushes. So it is actually filling up at the front. And that grass texture is actually pretty good. So we're nearly there. 600 litres, it is full. That's just a fascinating bit of equipment. So let's turn it off, lift the mower, and we'll lift it up a little bit. Now, the only little thing with this, the unloading is a little bit odd in that if I open it up, there we go. By doing that, so I do R1 and then side to side, we'll open up that front mower attachment like so. Again, animations are absolutely fantastic on that, but all the grass in the front like so. If I tip it now, sometimes it comes out and sometimes it doesn't. It's almost like you've got to flick it out to get it to come out, but it is coming out. I'm assuming that will unload, if you put it to like a trough area, it will probably unload easier into a trough. There you go, that's all 600 litres come out now. Because it doesn't give you the option like normal to unload here or anything like that. L1 and R1, there's no unload here option. You just kind of open it and tip it. So I'm hoping, well, there you go, there's a good view of the cutter bars underneath there. But anyway, yeah, so I'm assuming it will tip into a trough or a feed trough a little bit easier. But there you go, it's an unusual mod with a few very peculiar attachments. Fascinating little thing, and like I say, I mean, the only thing I can realistically think you could use it for, if you want to do a bit of mowing around your garden, or if you're going to use it for a feed area. Sheep, I think with the mower attachment would be a handy little thing to be able to do. It's fairly cheap, 16,000, it's not too bad. I think with all of the bells and whistles it goes up to about 20. That's still 40 grand cheaper than the Kramer, but it's a lot smaller and it's not as versatile. When you look at the options available, if I go back into the store, that's it. You've got the mower, the bucket and the weights, and there's nothing else. I haven't tried attaching another attachment to it. So what I'll do, let's get a loader attachment. For example, let's get pallet forks. I'll just lease them, I'm not that bothered. Okay, so what I'll do is drop that off. I don't think this will attach to pallet forks, but if it does, it might make that a little bit more handy to have around. Who knows? No, it's not giving the option to hook up in any way, shape or form. So yeah, those are the only options available really. The weights, the bucket and the mower attachment. But that's it. I've left this in a bit of disarray here, haven't I? It's a fascinating bit of kit, bit funky looking, quite unusual. A lot of options available, lots of different colours you can have it in. It would be a little bit better if maybe there was a pallet fork option or something like that, but it's not a particularly heavy machine, so I don't know if it would tip up in with weights on the back. I'm not too sure. But there you go. That's it. That is the ITSI project multi-loader from MTS. I hope you found this useful, informative, fun, quirky. I'm not too sure what. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.